Half hour on a Friday morning for you. Take it. Take it.
It's been a minute, Jeff. You must have been caught up at Miami GP last week or something because we didn't get a chance to record.
Um, yeah, Miami GP was happening last week. Funny enough, like there was a tremendous number of activations around that thing. Um,
Why is that funny?
I,
I mean, totally
it, well,
logical.
it's a little bit like Giant Stadium in the sense that it's nowhere near New York City or near Miami. It's a little bit of a distance, but it's
Oh,
great.
I see. Okay.
Um, so the problem is driving, and but otherwise it was great. Everyone came down. People tend to have a good time at Miami. Um, F1 and also Miami Open, which happened not too long ago as well. So
What's
it
that?
was
Tennis?
great. Yes, that's
Okay.
tennis. That's where Alcaraz started his run 2 years ago, I think it was.
I
But
see.
um, the other thing too was Adidas football was down here with Ty Sean actually doing some, excuse
Oh
me,
yeah.
skateboarding rather was down here with Ty Sean doing some shoots. They had some interesting, I don't know, do I call it tricks? I don't even know.
You,
Some interesting
you do call it tricks. Yeah.
leaps over
He,
vehicles.
oh yeah. He was. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. The IG video of him ollieing over the the Mercedes AMG super delicious
Right.
race car vibe
Do
door.
we is that what we call it? Is it an ollie when it's that big?
Yes, it's an ollie.
By the way, can I just
Doesn't
say
matter how
something?
big the ollie is, or in my case, how small the ollie is. It's an ollie.
So, real quick, just on skateboarding, shout out Eric Ellington for a quick minute. He was kind enough to send, not that long ago, a stack of boards over for me
Oh
and the
no shit, really?
kids, and
Oh,
I
that's
put I
cool.
put them together, and quite frankly, I lost them for about a year. We
Wait,
finally,
what?
yeah, they were kind of got buried in a box basically
Oh,
when we
okay.
moved.
I
It's
see.
a,
Okay.
it's a one of those move things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Long story short, I put one back together, and I just swapped into a new deck because now that I'm older, I have to skate with my kids, and rather than stand around like an old parent.
You
But
imagine
it's
dads of the past. I'm old
dude,
now, so I
there's
have to skate with my kids.
oh bro, you don't have no idea. There's so many of us too. So many
Oh,
of us.
I'm aware of that, but
But anyway,
I'm
I ended
just
up
the perfunctory nature of it is interesting.
I lost. I have my own dumbness. I've lost two. I have no more Baker. I'm done. I lost both boards that I put together just out of, I don't know. One slid under the car, and I told myself I'd move the car to get it, and I, of course, never got it. And the second one I left at the park. What am I gonna do?
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you were like boards flying out after some kickflip down 9 and going into the bay or something.
No, no,
No,
no. There's nothing that exciting.
no
But
kickflips
Ben,
down 9.
but Ben, how's your week been?
It's been good. There's been a lot of skateboarding in my week too because the we are just about to announce it can be a Culture Club show exclusive the summer exhibition at the Everson Museum of Art in um, Syracuse, my hometown,
Okay.
is going to be curated by William Strobeck, who is the video maker from Supreme, among other things, and of his own stead as well.
Ben, are
But
you
it's
are you on are you on the council there?
I'm acting as the producer of the
Wow, congrats.
exhibition. Yeah, along with, of course, dedicated people at the museum and Bill and a woman named Jade Barrow who's acting as the art advisor on it. But yeah, it's opens in June and it's gonna be really sick. And we've got some great support for it. And hopefully we're gonna have people coming in from all over the place to skate the plaza that we all grew up skateboarding in, which is going to have some special like ramps, and there's going to be a party, and then
That's a big deal, Ben.
there's going to be a hardcore show the next day at the DIY spot. Um, there'll be a
You
preview
produce Are you producing a
weekend.
hardcore show? Did I just hear that
No,
correct?
no, 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 no. The hardcore show is getting produced by a local guy named Lucas Reed, who does the shows up there. Lovely young dude who has taken up the mantle from the guys of my generation and continued the Syracuse hardcore scene. Um, yeah, which is sick. So it's gonna be really fun. But it's
William Strobeck. That'll be great.
well, I mean it's Bill, but in the show it's Spike Jones, it's Mark Gonzalez, Tobin Yelland, Ari
Mm.
Markopoulos, Dash Snow, Ryan McGinley,
Oh wow, a lot
a
of
whole
pieces.
a whole bunch of others. Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be
Um,
really sick.
Speaking of Mark Gonzalez, I think his new show just opened in Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I
Yep.
just saw that go through the gram.
Yep, that's
I
right.
love
We've
these
been working with
pieces.
him, and so like we've been hearing about the prep for that show.
Have you seen the pieces yet? They've got a
Mm-mm,
lot
no.
of blue and color in them, and if I'm not mistaken, most of them are square shape, one-to-one proportions. They look great.
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay,
also
I'll
got
have
to
to go
say,
look him up.
like, I also love that Mark is just still doing his thing.
Oh yeah.
I remember years ago when we got him on the cover, it was just fantastic.
Well, we've got two. There are two Mark pieces in the show, both of which are kind of special surprises.
Hmm.
So, which I'm not going to get into right this minute, but they're going to be those two pieces for skateboarders of a certain age are one of them is very, very special for skateboarders of a certain age, and then one of them is going to be just cool for everybody. So
Great.
it's going to be awesome.
I just bought my son, because he's grown out of his small baker. He just bought a Caballero buildup, which was nice. A nice old Steve Caballero, a
Oh, no
dragon
doubt.
graphic.
What, a repro Steve
Yeah,
Caballero
exactly.
with the dragon on it?
Palm Peralta still releases those boards, but they
Hmm.
also do a full buildup, meaning it comes with trucks,
Sure.
wheels,
Yeah.
etc. Interestingly enough, though, most of those things are not great. Usually they suffer from having bad trucks. Wheels are
Sure.
usually fine and shit, or bad bearings. But Palm Peralta actually uses fantastic trucks, and their own bearings in there. So you end up getting like reds on a build. And I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just fun. And it's great because it made him switch from the scooter that he's been attached to for about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
And not that I care that he rides a scooter, but I've been asking him to
Oh,
get
I
back on a
care.
board with me.
I
I know
care.
you do, Ben.
It's funny. I had a little bit of I had a scooter crisis on Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
So
Did
I
you
was out
use
in
one?
I'll tell you the story. I was out in Portland. I was out at Nike's behest, giving a talk,
Very
and
nice.
I went. Yeah, shout out to the global digital team out there. But they so I needed to get to the venue where this meeting was happening, and I was running a little late, and I was calling an Uber, and the Uber was going to take forever. And it was not a long distance at all, like a mile and a half, maybe something like that. And it was saying it was going to take 18 or 20 minutes for the Uber to get to me, and then it was going to take 20 minutes to get to the place, right? Because clearly there's some sort of bizarre traffic situation happening.
You got that water, you got that like river between
The river,
Portland.
the Willamette. But so I went out and said to the valet, I was like, "Is there, there's a bike share around here or whatever?" And he's just like, "Oh,
Ace
there's
Hotel?
Lime."
Ace Hotel?
No, the Ace isn't there anymore.
What?
It's
What's there
gone.
now?
Yeah, it's called the Side. It's
So
sort of
where's
a
Nike?
funny. Speaking of that, for you and me, it was sort of a funny little weird one. It went from the Ace Hotel to the Side Hotel, the A Side Hotel. You know what I
East
mean? It's
Side.
just
I
like,
love it.
and then given A Side's involvement with Nike over the course of the years, I was just
Totally.
like,
And
oh,
by the
this
way,
is.
where's Nike putting their guests these days in Portland?
I stayed at a place called the Woodlark, which is a Marriott, like a Bonvoy
I know
property.
it. I know
Okay.
it.
So
Fantastic, Ben.
but in any case, so I get out, I go out, and the guy's like, yeah, the bike, there might be bikes down over there, but there's going to be like Lime scooters around. And I was just like, oh man, I can't
Look, I
ride a
gotta do
scooter. I can't ride a
yeah,
scooter. I
Ben.
cannot ride a scooter.
Keep
And
talking. Keep talking.
I turn the corner, and there's a Lime scooter is just lying on the ground right there. And I was just like, oh no, this is fate intervening. And I downloaded the Lime app, and I looked at the scooter, and I looked at the app, and then I was just like, hold on, I'm downloading the Nike Bike app. And I
What?
downloaded the Nike Bike app. So Nike does, it's called Bike Town. It's their version of City Bike in Portland, is
Oh,
underwritten by
so
Nike.
they sponsor it there.
They sponsor it. And so I downloaded that app, and it turned out there were bikes right around the corner. So I left the
Oh,
scooter,
perfect.
and I walked over, and I got a bike.
Eh,
So I'm
I
still undefeated when it
scooted.
comes to scooters.
Amazing. I mean, I think that's the part. This is the bicycle part. I'm really obsessed with the public transportation thing around bicycles and how we've really kind of, especially in New York City, the number of people that are on bikes now, especially city bikes, is just tremendous. Even in
Yeah,
Miami, we're
yeah.
seeing it. But I'm glad you haven't jumped on a scooter yet, Ben.
No scooters.
That's
Never.
amazing. Let's
Never.
talk about this.
I'm a never scooter.
Let's talk about the Met Gala really quick. Happened
Oh my
over
god. Do we have to?
Monday. Oh, dude, I had to watch the whole thing for my class.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I mean, I
Like,
guess from a for cultural like a okay, fine. I'll deign to
there's
discuss
only
it
two
then.
things I want. There's only two
Yeah.
things I want to say about it.
Okay.
I've to me, it's interesting when there's a theme and how people interpret that theme, or certainly people may on base or
Mm-hmm.
off base on that theme. And I always secondly wonder, once they get in, dude, like what the hell happens? Like, do they take these things off? Do
Mm-hmm.
they sit down? Do they have a costume change? Because we rarely see any video or photos from inside the Met Gala. And it's probably for a
Sure.
reason, right?
Yeah. So wait, are you asking the question because you then found out the answer, or that's just a question?
The thing I always wonder is how I just don't understand how somebody can carry on like this for me.
How someone could wear a piano on his back for the entire night?
Did he
Yeah,
I don't think I don't know
no,
if he
no, no,
did.
no, no, he definitely takes it off. I mean, I know from reading about it that he took it off, but I think no, that's the practice.
Does
It's like
John Baptiste carry his
you
instrument with him the whole night?
the
He probably
way
does.
well maybe John Baptiste does it, the you show up, you essentially you get into a chauffeur vehicle, you get in the queue all the way up Fifth Avenue. You
Oh,
you
wow.
ride until you're at the front of the Metropolitan Museum or the red carpet entrance.
Yeah.
You get out of your chauffeured vehicle, even if you're staying across the street at the Mark. You have to do it this way.
Yeah. It's the
You
only way you can enter.
It's the only way you can enter. Well, I mean, Kamala Harris came in some different way, so there must be other ways to do it.
Yeah, but that's Kamala.
But if you're a red carpet, you have to do it this way. And so you walk in, you pose for the cameras, you walk up the steps into the venue, and then you do whatever you want. And so yeah, we heard who was it? Somebody had I can't think of who it was, had a massive train. The massive train on her dress was dispensed with. Andre took the piano off. There are straight up, I mean, I think there are just straight up costume changes, like, you know,
It
because some of
happens a
those
lot.
outfits are
It happens
downright
a lot.
antisocial. So it would be
Oh, yeah?
difficult
What
to.
do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, okay, so you're Janelle Monáe, you're wearing a Roblox outfit made by Tom Brown. Like someone comes behind you and tries to talk to you, like turning your head has got to be difficult, right? So clearly there's
Right.
got to be a way to
So
take that thing off and actually, you can how are you
I
going to
think
eat dinner with your arms in a box, right? Like
right. It
that kind of
speaks to
thing.
the costume, right? It is a
Mhm.
it's very much costume and it's not fashion in
Yeah.
that sense. But Gillette Monet on that note as well, you're right because she can't have a conversation with somebody. But it's the Met Gala. You gotta show up in that sense.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to
The
go ahead.
one person that I was disappointed was not invited was Horse Girl. Why didn't anyone invite
Oh
Horse
my
Girl?
God, that's true.
Horse Girl
Wow. I
is the
mean,
best.
it would have. Speaking of horse girl,
Did you
the
read that
throwing fits
article
guys.
did you read that hold on, I want to talk about that in a second. But did you read about
Oh.
the article in People where she was interviewed and she said that she learned to sing under the tutelage of Whitney Houston? I mean, just absolutely
Hold on.
like
I'm pulling this
amazing. I
up.
don't whoever her publicist
You're
is
right. I just
like
got it up.
big kudos for yeah, because that article in one of the biggest outlets in America was just nonsense. Totally made up. It was amazing.
I just don't understand how she keeps it on all day. Anyway,
Mhm. Glue,
we
my
didn't.
friend. It's the
Unfortunately,
same way that Lord kept her cummerbund uh, on her torso. So
I that actually is exactly what it was. It
yeah, yeah.
was. It could
Just
have been a sofa, but Lord, as an example, is one where I was like, wait, I don't get the theme. Like, it's not. Where does this come in? How is this like? This is not dandy.
well because the theme is tailored for you, right? Like the show is about black dandyism, but the
Ah,
theme is tailored for you, and so it's a cummerbund. So it's like, what do you have tailored for you? A tuxedo. What does a tuxedo look like? It's the coat, the pants, and the cummerbund, et cetera, et cetera. All
sorry,
right. So
Ben.
anyway,
Can
throwing
we get?
fits,
Hold on. Sorry. Can we
throwing
go back
fits.
to Horse Girl for a second? Because now I'm
Okay, if
obsessing
you
over
want to, sure.
the People article that it looks like a Zoom. She did an article, a Coachella interview
Hmm.
via Zoom with People. This has got to be the funniest thing I've seen in my life, dude. This is amazing. Like,
It's
go ahead.
pretty great. No, it's pretty great. I mean, that's all there is to say. It like she says things in it about being a half human, half horse. She says she was inspired by Whitney Houston. She said
Her
she's
new
not a
EP is VIP, very important pony.
she's not she's not a centaur.
What's a centaur,
She's not
Ben?
even sure centaurs are real. Well, a centaur is like has the lower body of a horse, and then
That's
it's
right.
instead of a neck, it's the got the torso and the upper body of a man.
Ben, what led you down the horse girl pipeline?
Casey Lewis. It was in Casey Lewis featured it in After School. Apparently,
Ah.
her husband, who is not. I mean, he's a lovely dude, but he's not like a you know hardcore muso. I don't think. But he turned her onto it. She put it in After School. I saw it and was just like, this is very very funny,
We didn't get a
very
chance to
funny.
talk about Coachella actually was which is where Horse Girl Horse Girl did her thing, but I wanted to quickly talk about the Misfits show, the original Misfits lineup that
Okay,
played
okay.
Coachella. I guess they
Is
are the set. I thought they were the first act to have their logo on the bill, but I guess Prince had it first with his
oh
symbol.
interesting. Okay,
I had, and I
I
also
didn't
didn't
know
even
that.
realize Prince played Coachella. Something I forgot about. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's been 27 years of Coachella's, right? So it's easy to forget.
what I found really interesting actually was an interview that KCRW did with, oh my God, the bassist. I'm going to get his name wrong. God, I'm
Jerry
terrible at
only.
this. Jerry Only. And Jerry was just such a fine guy. I thought it was amazing. I didn't want to see this side of Jerry. But what was interesting to me, and I think I put this on Substack, they're so obsessed that like he tells a story of him like getting to Indio Polo Grounds at excuse me at 5 a.m. and or 6 a.m. rather. Nobody's there, and he literally just drives to the stage and begins to set up his gear, which is probably stacked behind 7 or 8 other bands' gear. And it was just really interesting that this dude is getting up and man, I don't know. I wish I could be Jerry
Why?
only
And they
because he's
saving money on roadies? Like what?
not
I don't understand.
maybe. Well, maybe this. First of all, it's probably punk rock to put your shit together. You might as well go if you want to be really punk rock. Set your shit together at Coachella.
I mean, I don't
Hold
know.
on,
Like
hold on.
okay.
But going down that road a little bit more, what I find interesting is that in general, Ben, the type
Hmm.
of music that the Misfits are, and certainly the music of punk rock, is not necessarily that hi-fi. I mean, it is loud, it is
Yeah.
together. I love the music, but I would not call it sonically perfect. So I'm wondering what Jerry's listening to. Like his guitar. Anyway, long story short, the two sets were pretty good. I felt like the crowd had no fucking idea who they were looking at. That's the only thing that really
That's
bummed
kind of
me out.
well, I mean, maybe they made the sound too perfect, and everybody's used to listening to it through, third generation cassette tape dubs, and so
Totally.
like I did.
Well, shout out to the Misfits. And by the way, one other thing about the Misfits, if you listen to the early singles, there is one in particular, Ben, that I've been dying to re-find. And there's like a synth line in it right at
Okay.
the beginning, which I find quite interesting for a band that's dominated by, you know, slamming guitar and drums.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Misfits are allowed to use synths if they want to.
There is a synth track. Um, Umbro
All
throwing
right, wait. You
fits.
you were you were talking about throwing fits. Were you talking about more people that are out of key?
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna. That's not why. It's pretty true. No, I found this ad amazing. Ben, lead up on this thing so we can talk about it.
Okay, well, uh, Throwing Fits has done a pigment dyed version of the Umbro, um, let's call it jumper that Liam Gallagher wore at Nebworth or something like that, some
Yes,
famous Oasis gig, and they announced it with a Instagram video where it starts with James sitting at the bar in some bar in New York. I don't know which one. I didn't recognize it, but and singing the beginning of Wonderwall, of Oasis's Wonderwall. And oh wait, no, Champagne Supernova. Wait, is
Champagne
it? It
Supernova,
was
bro.
Champagne. Yeah, excuse me, Champagne Supernova. Sorry, jeez,
No, 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 it's okay.
My Oasis guys will never forgive me. Anyway, he starts singing it. He sings the first few, you know, uh, lyrics. Larry stands up. He's on the far side of the bar, sings the next one, and then the whole bar breaks into song. And this is apparently a remake of a Puma ad from the late 90s or early 2000s, which I didn't know. And I don't recall ever having seen. But in any case, so it's some real as the Trump administration would say, 4D chess when it comes to,
Yes.
you're citing your cultural references, your interbrand mixing, your business affairs being too young to remember the original reference, all of that sort of stuff. Like, it's pretty great.
I think it came out great. Actually, just straight up, I think the shirt looks sick. I love the
The
garment
shirt does
dye.
look great. Yeah,
Shirt
shirt
looks
looks great.
great. I love the collar's this big oversized collar that is actually over dyed as well. But talk about that coming together and camaraderie. It's a really interesting. I got to give Larry and James credit for bringing together, the menswear scene of New York to take part in this.
Well, what are you gonna say? Bringing together their group chat? I mean, it's like it's Gian and
Exactly.
it's Brandon Mahler and it's Eddie Wong and it's I
Yeah.
mean
I see
my
Andrew
buddy,
Chen from 316 in here. I
sure,
see uh
My buddy Jacob Price is in there too. Jacob's
Jacob Gallagher is on the
one of the
side
young
there.
guns. Oh, is Gallagher in there? I didn't see
He's
him.
all the way on the left.
Okay.
I'm literally I'm such a fan of this. I'm looking, and by the way, I think they're all drinking Guinness.
Wait a minute. Can Jacob Gallagher be in that?
Uh-oh. Is that Jacob? Can you see
I
him?
yeah. I mean, I didn't notice him.
Here,
I
I'll
didn't
take you a
notice
screen.
him.
I'm gonna send you a screenshot. You tell me.
Okay.
Here, let me see, Ben. How do I send this to Ben?
I mean, like Eddie Wong can do whatever he wants, right? Like,
Well, Eddie Wong is not. It looks like he's having a water. I think he's. I don't know if he's doesn't drink, but I believe he has what looks like a water in his hand.
oh, I'm not
Um,
talking about what they're drinking. I'm talking about like the implications of editorial influence that would come from being in
you
a paid promotion.
I would say that you're onto something. Ben, take a look at the photo. And again, I don't want to. I think that's Jacob with his hand in his hair on the far left, just above Larry's tongue.
Just above
Literally.
Larry's tongue. Oh my god.
No, is that
Wait,
Larry's tongue?
the no, that's not Jacob Gallagher.
That's not Jacob Gallagher?
No, it's not Jacob Gallagher. No, no, no. It's Lawrence. I don't know who that is, but it's not Jacob Gallagher. Then you've got Jacob Price, who happens to be right next to him. You've got Shy from Shy's Burgers. You've got Andrew
Ah, okay.
Chen. Look at us. Look at us picking out all these names, all these
I mean, I feel like
faces.
this photo is like our Met Gala. This is what this is, this is what we've come to, Ben.
Oh my god.
We're looking at
That's
it. Hey,
I really need a new life if that's the case. Like,
it was,
that's ridiculous.
Ben, somebody sent me a link. I guess there was an interesting article about menswear press in general that was over on Substack. Did you happen to catch anything on this? It's interesting because it certainly is.
Recently?
Uh,
Not recently.
maybe it's not recent, but having now been on Substack.
You talking about the I hate menswear thing from last year
No,
that Chris Giamelli wrote? No?
no, this was I
Okay.
think it was written by. Anyway, just back to menswear in general. It is interesting how
Always back to menswear.
it is interesting how that community is really on Substack. Like sure we use Instagram, but it's interesting how Substack has really become this place where people that either support an author or certainly support some kind of cultural thing can really come together. It's
It's
nice.
funny you should say that. I don't see that. And I'm
Really?
on no, and I'm on Substack a lot. I mean, look, what you're doing with Selectism, yes, for sure. What Michael does with the material review and a continuous lean, yes, of course. But even like when they featured me in the material review, I got some like new subscribers, new follows out of it, but it was not a huge avalanche, which is no shade to those guys. It's just like I just don't I question whether the community is actually really there.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But then again, Selectism is probably a better gauge because it's much more dedicated than like Sick is. What is Sick even about? It's my mental health exercise. So
It really is at the end of the day. I mean, why do we write? Why do we get in front of the mic? It's to break
I
away,
suppose.
break away from um, uh, the other side of things, as they say. Yeah. So that's what I had on the plate, Ben. What else is going on your side?
All right, so let's see. I went to Portland. That was fun. I went where was I when I picked this up? I was at I went by Spoonbill yesterday. I have
What is it
been
called?
looking for Spoonbill in Sugartown, the
Yeah, yeah,
longstanding
yeah. Oh,
Williamsburg
right, right.
bookstore. on Bedford Avenue. So I was looking for the new issue of L'Etiquette, the French magazine, and which when I've been to Casa Magazine, they hadn't gotten it in yet, and so I happened to be riding my bike by Spoonbill, and I was like, oh, I'll stop in and see if they have it. They didn't have it, but what they did have was this new. And for those who are not watching, this is a new zine. It's called AWOL, um, and it is like a kind of a new free newsprint creative zine, and it must be plugged into the downtown cool kids scene because the back cover is still here. There's a Colbo ad. There's a
Give me that name, Ben. AWOL, right?
It's called AWOL. Yeah, yeah. But there's an ad from Colbo, an ad from Somerset House, some
AWOL. See,
art
they're not.
shows,
Am I wrong
IRL
that they're not
gallery.
even? They're not even on social, are they?
They might not be. I mean, so anyway, I just what I there obviously you and I talk about zines all the time, and I just liked discovering a new zine. This is issue number 1, or it looks to be anyway, um, themed around idle time. So cool to see AWOL out there in the world.
Let me show you something I've been obsessed with.
Okay. But I also just Jeff, while you're looking for that, I also found, and I've got to look it up quickly. The name of the book, but so I'm at Spoonbill. They didn't have L'Etiquette, but they had this interesting. They had a book by this guy Vincenzo Latronico called Perfection that I had been looking for also. So I got that. I took it up to the cashier, and I found a book by a friend that I was a little surprised about. It's called Do Photo. It's by Andrew Painter, who is a longtime friend and photographer based out in San Francisco, who's done a bunch of work for Adidas and with the agency Juice for many years. But anyway, he made this little book called Do Photo. You can get it at thedobook.co. That's dobook.co. And it's 10 practices honed over a year, a career spent behind the lens. And it was really cool because it was just like, oh, here's a buddy, here's a little book. It's $16. So I bought
What's the
it.
name? Where is it again?
If you go to the do book
Got it.
.co. Yeah. But they have a whole little
Ah, cool.
series of books. It's like there's Do Photo by Andrew Painter, but then there's also Do some other stuff, other books.
I love this stuff. You know, for me,
Oh, look, look at that, Jeff. There's a Do Bitcoin. You can do Bitcoin.
uh,
Wow,
I,
this is
this is a great, regardless of what's in it. I love the concept of the series, and I
yeah,
love
for
the
sure.
idea of do. These are the kind of things that I'm jealous and wish I could do myself. But it shows you that there's still ways to go about it. I love these. I love when magazines are like have guest editors,
Mhm.
especially something like this, which really plays on things that are just so nuanced, like sourdough bread or going for a walk. Like, who knew you could fill 300 pages about going for a walk?
I think
Um,
300 might be a
I
little,
know
that might be
I'm
ambitious,
flipping
but
it.
yeah.
Also, we should also shout out the photography in each one is pretty fantastic. And like most good zines or books, like they stick around. You keep them on your shelf, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. But so Marcella is a big Andrew Painter fan, so I got it for her for Mother's Day. Don't tell her.
We're about to shut the show down, but I wanted to mention one thing. I have been lucky enough down here to be connected with a group of people that were creators back in the 80s and 90s in Miami.
Oh
And
yeah, let's talk about that Bill Laswell thing. That was bananas.
yeah, and it's really it's been really interesting to see.
Well, okay, you got to go back and tell us what it is. We set the scene here, please.
Which one do you want to set?
The Bill Laswell, like, or was it Bill Laswell or was it
Arthur
shit
Baker?
Arthur Baker? It was
Ah.
yeah. Sorry,
Oh, sorry, no problem.
I've got my OG producer guys
'Cause
mixed
I was
up.
about to,
Yeah,
that's all right.
Bill,
It
I was
took me a
like Bill
second as
Laswell.
well.
Come on,
Yeah, Arthur Baker. I mean, it was pretty wild, actually. It's to your
that's
point.
really cool. Tell the people, please.
Uh, Arthur Baker, who was a legendary producer, having done essentially been there at the creation of hip hop, certainly on the production side, engineering. He, of course, did a ton of remixes over the years for everyone from Madonna to Bruce Springsteen. And I actually worked with New Order on the song Confusion, which he co-wrote with them. And Arthur's been promoting his new book, which is out in October. So I don't want to say too much on it now, but he did a listening party on a Sunday afternoon at this place called Reserved, which is, I couldn't believe it, Ben. Selvage, selvage vintage denim meets. I mean, I felt like I was in a free and easy magazine in Miami, dude. It was
Bro,
amazing.
can I just tell you just a quick aside? My Harper's boyfriend and his friends have just opened some kind of online shop selling vintage number 9.
No way, dude. Where are they finding it?
No, it's funny. He's like, he came down the stairs. He was over hanging out with Harper yesterday, and he comes down the stairs, and she, Harper's like, "Dad, uh, Ike's got these number 9 jeans that he's selling on eBay. Look at them." And it turns out they're like very, very cropped, like indie sleaze style skinnies,
These
like
sleaze, yeah.
great patching and stuff, but
Oh, number
like
9 is
not
so
not a
random.
contemporary silhouette at all. And we were and she was showing them to me because she thought they were like funny and worth laughing at. And I was just like, how do you know about number 9? And he's like, how do you know about number 9? That
Ooh,
was
damn.
that's pretty funny.
That's
Anyway,
great.
we got into a whole conversation. I ended up lending him David Marks's book Amatora.
Oh, good, 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 good. That's a great book to
I was
give
just
him.
like, yeah, get
We
into it.
got we
Anyway,
gotta
sorry.
run,
So
but we
so
gotta run,
so
but next week I wanna talk about a couple things. One of them is a brand that sort of lived in the lore of streetwear called Pervert, and I've
yeah,
been
of course.
very lucky to learn a lot more about sort of what was happening in Miami during that time. Again, we've heard the stories about the founders. I've been trying to figure out, like, what was happening in Miami, and what's come of it, quite frankly, is a realization that nobody's really told, like, this Miami counter cross culture thing that was happening
The
as it
story
was in as it
the
was
story
in
of
New York or
the,
whatever.
the story of the Miami Heat.
Essentially, like, literally the heat.
The
But let's talk about
Heat,
that next
Joe.
week.
All
Let's talk
right.
about that next week.
All right, Joe. Culture Club, half hour, back next week.
Follow us on the socials, please. On Spotify would be great, or wherever you listen to this. And if you like the show, share it with somebody. Ben, I'll see you next week, bud.
See you next week, dude.